If you are a high quality or a high value man or woman, if you're putting your ego aside and attending to your needs.
Children with multiple women, does your view on the quality of the man change?
That's like a loaded question.
So you're not judging?
I'm not judging. Yeah, that's not.
You're not judging?
No.
He needs 2 women to meet his needs.
To meet his needs. On the flip side, can those 2 women also have another man to meet theirs?
It's 2025 and we're back with the first episode of the new year. We apologize for the delay, but we are here live in the city of Richmond where we haven't had water. So my co-host here has not been able to wash her hair and do the things that need to happen, but we are excited to be back. We want to thank all of you for continuing to support us. We've been sharing with you that there's a new format coming to the show and we're going to get into that a little bit today. But before we do, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and make sure you engage and share why people should go follow the Randy Wilson podcast with our new co-host and feature, Nikki Shaw. What's up, Nikki?
Hey.
Glad to have you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too. I'm so excited to have Nikki, who's my cousin, by the way, and my therapist, on the show. And so we got a new format come to the show. We're going to continue to have interviews, but we're going to also focus on different subjects. And so when we bring guests in, as much as just focusing on them, we're going to focus on the subjects at hand so they can share their perspective. And we're going to start it off today. But again, before we get too far in the show, subscribe to the show, follow the show, and tell somebody about the Randy Wilson podcast with our new co-host, Nikki Shaw. Look, just to start the year off right, we're looking for sponsors, okay? We're looking for sponsors, and it may just be you. Or it may be someone in your human resources department at your job. So, if you are interested in being a sponsor to the show, please get into our inbox. We would like to create commercials and help broadcast your business and highlight the reasons that we feel like you add value to our community. So, learn more about how you can be a sponsor by getting in our inbox or emailing rwilsonpodcast@gmail.com. Nikki, thank you for, accepting this seat.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
It's going to be fun. Buckle up.
Yeah, I think it is going to be fun. I guess before we get into too much of the conversation, you share a little bit with our audience about your background and just who you are.
So, again, Nikki Shaw. I'm from Richmond. Have always lived in Virginia. Have always wanted to move away, but for different reasons, I have been here and have never gotten out. So, love to travel. Huge on family. Work hard, play harder is my motto. As my daddy always told me, if you pay now, you can play later. If you play now, you're going to pay later. So those are the words that I live by, and I hopefully I can do that to the most in 2025. Are
you playing and paying right now, or what?
Both. Yeah. Yes, I think we've done a lot of paying in this first 16 days, which has been rather ghetto.
Yep, it has
these
been.
First couple weeks. But I'm looking forward to some fun.
Yeah, we are definitely live here in the new city of Detroit. I mean, Richmond, Virginia. Richmond turned to Detroit real quick.
Yeah, real quick. So, trying to ride the wave, and hopefully it gets better from here.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. Let's talk about our relationship.
Okay.
I think we've known each other since I want to say 2007.
That's about right.
I think that's right.
It's been almost 20 years.
Yeah, it's been almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years.
It's really been almost 20 years. And not only have you been a phenomenal colleague and professional and friend and therapist, but we're family now. And a lot of people in our audience may not know that. She introduced me to my wife.
Yep.
And so I think our relationship is going to be... I think people are going to get... I like this because it's going to give people an opportunity to see us interact in a different way.
And we know, like you said, we know each other very well. In all different aspects. So I think it'll be cool.
So there's going to be a sense of accountability that comes with this.
Right. Exactly.
It's going to be a sense of accountability. And but I think it's going to be good. Let them know about your business.
Okay,
because this is an opportunity for us to self-marketing here.
Of course, shameless plug.
Yeah.
So I have 2 businesses with our cousin. So one is a for-profit community-based mental health agency, a New Legacy Family Services. We provide services for kids, adults, seniors, whole families, in the community, in schools. We do individual counseling for kids, intensive in-home, for adults with serious mental health issues, that's mental health skill building. We do counseling in the schools, which is therapeutic day treatment, and then we also do outpatient therapy. We have a lot of contract groups with different funding sources, different localities, so we do groups for at-risk teenagers, weapons and violence prevention. So that keeps us busy on the for-profit side. We also have a nonprofit organization, St. Luke Legacy Center, which is really my passion, our passion, because we try to provide programs, resources, and events to make those things more accessible to our community that they wouldn't typically be able to tap into. So things like I do acupuncture, we have sound healing, we do yoga, we have an in-house massage therapist, we have spiritual coaching, we have all of these community partners that work together. We have Diverse Birth Collective, that is a doula and mentoring program to provide doula services to women and families in our community. And so we are really focused on getting grants to be able to fund those activities. Right now we're working on what's called the 4th trimester program, which is that time after mom gives birth. At that point everybody focuses on the baby, we're focusing on the mom, making sure that she gets doula services, she gets mental health screenings, outpatient counseling, all of that is encompassed in the grant. So that is like our baby right now. That and weapons and violence prevention for the teenagers is what we're focusing on.
You know what? I'm sick of these damn programs and nobody ever focusing on the man. What service and resource out there to focus on the man?
No. So this is the thing. For the 4th trimester, you get mental health screenings for the mom and her partner. So the dads or the partner can also get mental health screenings, and then for the outpatient therapy, mom gets to choose if she wants to do individual, couples, or family counseling. So we do not leave the dads out. We work with the dads too.
Because we got some post-depression issues too.
Oh, absolutely. You absolutely do. And that gets brushed under the rug.
Yeah, like and we not getting any ass anymore.
And that's huge. That is huge. Y'all get grumpy, y'all get irritable and evil, and y'all have lack of sleep.
Yeah, I'm speaking generally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. It impacts, having a new baby has an impact on the whole household, not just the mom. Yeah, so of course, that's the thing. If we can help the relationship stay healthy and stable, then the mom is happier and stable. Yeah, it's important on both ends.
It's all about keeping mom happy, right? We're going to make sure we do that.
Yeah, so we absolutely don't leave the dads out of the mix.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm just in here, making sure I advocate for us.
No. So the dads can get the mental health screenings as well, and then like I said, they can also participate. And then we have amazing therapists that work specifically. Jessica Hill is the black man's therapist. That is her primary practice.
You better be careful with that. You better be careful with that title.
No, but hey, and she does it well. She lives up to it. Her pretty much her whole practice is black and brown men. And
she specializes in men.
She specializes in working with black and brown men.
I think this is a great opportunity to pop her picture up in the camera.
Yes, I mean, she's dope. She's a LCSW. She's worked with all different populations, and she so that wasn't her intent initially, but she realized that she was getting more referrals from the men. They didn't have anyone that really could hold space for them, or sometimes if they have a male therapist, it's certain stuff that they just don't feel comfortable opening up with, and for whatever reason they feel very comfortable with her. She's awesome with them. So we've had some of the dads or the partners that will cycle through and go to her.
I feel like men, I don't know. To me, I feel like men would probably prefer a female therapist anyway, though. I don't know.
It depends on the person. Some guys prefer talking to women. Some is kind of like the ego gets in the way. So some of the stuff that they may want to talk about, they wouldn't feel comfortable talking to a woman. So they are more open with a man. It just kind of depends. So that's why I always say, if you go into therapy and you don't vibe with the first person that you meet with, don't give up. Find someone else, because it could just be a personality thing. It doesn't mean that all male therapists are like this, all female therapists.
Jessica Hill, right?
Jessica Hill. Jessica P. Hill. She likes the P. Don't forget the P.
Jessica P. Hill. if you're watching this, and I'm sure you're going to, you have a great chief marketing officer over here for you with Nikki Shaw. You might want to be careful at how Nikki out here marketing you to these men, because your numbers are going to go up quick. All right, can you imagine?
Jessica is booked and busy, so yes, she is.
All right, well, thank you for sharing more about that. So these are the topics that we're going to kind of touch on today a little bit. We're going to talk about locally, we've obviously been dealing with, we got a new mayor in the city, and we just got water back, and rumor is that some of it's gray. I don't know. I might have to ask Casey. I might peep Casey on that to see. We're going to touch on a few things in pop culture, a little bit into relationships. We got a few things here we're going to talk about. Before we get too far, though, I want to shout out Living 757. If you haven't, go follow Living 757. They air on Cox, and their show airs every single day, Monday through Friday. And they did a special on us a couple days ago that will be out, depending on when you watch. It'll be out Monday the 20th through Friday. I guess that's probably the 25th or 24th. I don't know. 2021.
Monday is the 20th.
Monday the 20th through Friday the 24th. You can get that sounds like it.
That's about right. I think
that's
okay.
You got to count that. We started at zeros. Don't mess up. But anyway, they'll be airing that show, and then we'll redistribute it also on social media and Instagram and YouTube as well. But so we got a new mayor in the city, and I don't know what you think, but to me it's different. And we had the pleasure of having all the mayor candidates come up here, but it's just like a different. Is it a different feel to you? Does it seem different? He got his hands full.
Yes,
quick.
That's what I would say. I don't know that I would say that it feels different. I feel like that his welcome into his new title has been rough. I mean, because he literally, coming in right at the holidays, and then all that has happened. I mean, I feel like usually when people get into office, they have time to kind of ease into it. He didn't have that time to transition because.
Well, to his credit, the administration prior implemented into the budget a transition plan, right. So he was able to. His day one was real, but 30 days into it, he did have some transition. He just probably, who would have imagined that you'd start a new year and
right. So it's definitely unforeseen circumstances. So but it's just one. So it's something that no one could prepare for, between the snow coming, and we really haven't had real snow here in years. Yeah, and then to do that on top of the water, not only the water going out in the city, but then it impacting the county surrounding. It was just, I don't even know how to explain it. I think it's a turn. I think the reason when I say I think it feels different, I feel like Casey, you pro Danny Avila too, right? I'm not even trying to put your political business out there. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I say it feels different is that Richmond's different. Richmond is changing. Oh, it's absolutely changing. Richmond is changing. I think I saw a stat the other day that white people are in the majority, I think, right now, for the first time in a long time. And then we have a mayor of Indian descent that looks like us, kinda. He looks like us, but may not reflect all of the cultural black. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not so much. Like he's kind of like he's a hybrid. He's different culture, different background. Yeah. So when I say it feels different, that's what I think. I think like I'm wondering, like, I don't know. I feel like I just think he's a reflection of the different change that's happening in Richmond. So, and that's the thing. So I think that I definitely agree that Richmond feels different, especially being here, being born and raised here. It has gone from being Richmond to very much RVA. Yeah. that didn't exist until a few years ago. So when people that aren't from here, they're like, what's the big deal? When you say RVA, like, what's people that are actually from here can see the shift. So what you're talking about is very true. Like when you're saying that now that the white population being a majority in Richmond, it's different. Yeah, that's not something that we've experienced like since that I can remember. Yeah. So I mean, and the only reason I emphasize it because, of course, I love my white people.
and I got my white friends. I'm not making it a racial thing. I'm basically just identifying the reality of demographics have changed.
Right, definitely.
And I think that, this is. I remember someone saying to me, I think it was in the Michelle Mosby interview. Mm-hmm. She said, if a person of color, if a black person didn't win the mayor race, it may be a while
before another one
does. And so we're seeing the tide turn right here, because she had all the black churches, a lot of black business owners, a lot of black legends, a lot of people, a lot of former black mayor, Dwight Jones, and a lot of people, but it just wasn't enough. And I'm not trying to make it a black thing, because as far as I'm concerned, when I look at Danny, I see a person of color.
Right.
I don't know what y'all say. Be black to me. You know what I'm saying? But he's Indian, I believe so.
Yeah. Well, and so, but the thing about it is well, for one, when you're thinking about voting, hopefully people aren't voting just because of a color. You're voting because of what the person is bringing to the table.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not, but that's what some people do. So that's number one. Number two, again, thinking about how, like you said, the demographics of the city has changed, then it's understandable why the race went the way that it did. Because again, you're going to vote for your issues, your concerns, making sure that the topics that are at the forefront of your mind, that's what you're voting for. So if that's the case, if Dr. Danny, he's the one that won. And so that's the thing. So like you're saying, with other candidates that had all of the support of these different places, like we were talking about with Ms. Mosby, she had all the support, but you also have to think about a lot of these people that are in these churches and all this stuff. Richmond is so enmeshed with the surrounding counties. A lot of these people live in the county. They're supporting her, but they can't vote. Yeah. I live in Henrico. I live right across the line, but I can't vote. So it's a lot of people that, that could influence that don't, because they actually don't live in the city. And then unfortunately, there's a large amount of people that live in the city that don't vote. So they complain and they get pissed off about who gets elected, whether it be for city council or for the mayor or all these other positions. But though a lot of times those people that are complaining, when you say, did you vote? No, they didn't. So
I just want to salute Dr. Danny Avula. Congratulations on winning. And I think off the bat, it appears he's doing a pretty good job. I think he's showing transparency by getting on social media and talking directly with media, taking questions, taking hard questions.
The press conferences were great.
From
last week. I was tapped in because I was one of the ones with no water, so I wanted to know what the update was.
I think one of the things I think about him that I think will be beneficial to the city for us is that he has a background in human services. Right. So now yesterday I saw in the news that I don't know what the position's called, but she was in a position of authority when it comes to like water.
She resigned,
and apparently it was a mutual. Apparently it was a mutual agreement that she was going to step aside. Y'all need to get in the comments and let me know what her name is.
I can't remember, but
I wonder how mutual it was.
I know that they were harping on that she was the only one in that role, in that director role, that doesn't have an engineering degree. So they were comparing her position to like the surrounding counties and everyone that is in that role for like public works and all the other localities have engineering degrees. So that was part of why they were saying that
it's interesting.
She wouldn't be appropriate for
That's
that.
interesting to kind of peel the onion and look at that a little bit. I don't know how long she's been in her role. I'm of the impression she'd been there for a while, but that's kind of it's kind of unfortunate.
Right. But I mean, when something like this happens that is this big, that has impacted this many people, and then it spans into other counties, somebody has to they have to find someone to take the blame.
Look who just called me. What I'm saying. We're going to get into that.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people who have mixed feelings about all these changes right now.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Dr. Avula has agreed to be a guest on the show and come back. So we're going to bring him back up here and we're going to talk to him about it. But the water, like we were supposed to record shows last week, but
I didn't have water.
Nikki didn't have water, and she couldn't wash her hair.
My child was not in school.
Child wasn't in school.
It was a lot of things. So it was stressful.
Understanding though, like obviously it was rough. I was out there living on privilege with a well, and it's just like how y'all are sometimes when y'all got generators and.
Right.
We out here with no power, we're burning candles and stuff.
Yeah,
but it was rough, man. How bad was it for you though?
So I had water, but again, because I'm in Henrico.
You taking bird baths?
So I did. Well, that's a nice way to call it.
Deer Park water?
That's not what we call
hoe
it.
Baths?
We call it hoe baths.
Yeah.
So I did have to take a couple hoe baths, unfortunately. But luckily, I had family that had water, so I was able to go to their house to shower. Found out what was going on Monday, a couple hours before I actually hit the news, because I know people that work at the hospital. So they alerted the hospitals before they put it out to us. So family member told us that she didn't have water. She told us what was going on. I said, well, I have water. Come here. So she came. So we were like trying to help everybody else out that didn't have water. Come get water. Come take showers. Do all this stuff. Monday was cool. Wake up on Tuesday, and the water was the stream was the size of a pencil on full blast, and I'm like, uh-oh. Luckily, we filled one of the tubs the night before. We filled up one of the sinks just in case, because we know that we're close to the Richmond line. And it wasn't until Wednesday, they didn't even announce. They were focused on Richmond, but Henrico was either low pressure like I had or no water at all. They didn't even mention that until Wednesday. So it was people, again, being from here, everybody's like, do you have water? I don't have water. We're in the county. Why don't we have water? And so then they announced that it had impacted Henrico, and then the day after that it was Mechanicsville and Hanover. So it just kept spreading. So it was.
What's your water look like right now?
My water is fine.
Have you tasted it?
No. No.
Did you drink it before?
I didn't drink. I always drink bottled water.
Casey,
anyway.
Casey, I know you ain't drinking the water. He bougie.
No.
He makes sure he's not drinking the water.
So even my ice, I don't. So that was one of the things they were saying, like you needed to clean your water lines and your ice maker and all that stuff. I'm like, well, we don't have to do. I use bottled water to make my ice. That sounds bad. That sounds really bougie, but that's what I do. I don't use. Gosh. So that wasn't an issue. Yeah. So, but I know some other people that had to like break everything down to even be able to do that again.
If you tuning in and you're not from the region, go check out the Richmond water crisis. This was serious.
It was bad.
This was rough.
It was
but
bad.
We hopefully everyone's got their water restored. But check your water and listen. Like
some people said that theirs was like I saw pictures. Some was brown. Some looked gray. Some look really, really white.
I'm hearing that some people's water look gray though.
Yeah, some people did. So I saw videos of people that it was either brown or it looked like kind of gray, murky, or it was like really, really white.
Yeah, I want to put emphasis on Richmond water. Former guest, you met Will Melton. We got the bottle over there. Like y'all just need to start reusing. Like it's so many benefits to like. He started trending crazy. His numbers went up crazy because of refillable water.
Right.
And
those bottles are dope. So it's like
And there's something. The water tastes different out of. I think it's
because it's like what is the stainless steel? What is it?
It's aluminum.
Aluminum.
Yeah, it tastes better out of that than it does a bottle.
Well, that's what some people say about like beer. Some people prefer like a bottle versus a can or whatever because it makes it taste different.
Yeah, glass. Yeah, so but y'all go check out that Richmond water crisis. It's been real.
Hopefully it's done.
I was joking about it. Like obviously this isn't just things happen the way they happen, but like we was joking like, dang, Stoney been gone 2 weeks and Richmond and turned to Detroit. And that ain't no knock to anybody in office now because it's nobody's fault.
It got
just
ghetto
what it
real
is.
quick.
It snowed.
It got ghetto real quick. It snowed and everything crumbled. I mean, even this week I was, you were nervous again because we're in Virginia. Why are we having earthquakes?
I know.
So that was the other thing.
Did you feel it?
No, I was driving and my mom called like, do you feel the earthquake? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm on the highway. What earthquake?
Yeah, we had like a 2 point something.
Right. It was a 2.8 earthquake.
That's enough.
Right. And so then after that, what happened? Another water main breaks
Oh, really?
Henrico.
I didn't know that.
So within 12 hours, see, I keep up with current events.
I was in Chesapeake.
So, so the
Can't where you supposed to be, but anyway, you wouldn't even have to experience this.
No,
but it's all good.
I didn't. Yeah. So that happened. The earthquake was like 5:30. Then a couple hours later, the water main broke in Henrico, and then overnight, another one of the pumps failed at the Richmond Waterworks. Like, so it was boom. So by the time we woke up the next morning, in 12 hours, earthquake and 2 main water issues. So when that happened, before we went to bed, I'm like, well, let's fill the tub back up just in case we wake up. So I have a tub full of water right now, just in case.
What you gonna do with it?
I don't know. In case the problems pop off, we didn't have enough time.
Just in case you need to take a bath.
No, just in case you need to flush the toilet.
Oh, for the toilet purposes.
Because so I still have.
Y'all a shitty ass family over there. God bless.
I still have water. Hey,
that's
listen,
just for the shit.
No, we're not just.
Basically,
no, just in case some problems.
You're not gonna bath in it.
No, you're not gonna bathe.
You're not gonna drink it.
No, you're not gonna bathe in it.
But you're
gonna, if you need to flush a toilet, if problems arise again, and they don't tell us until later.
I know all the words I'll be messing up is gonna get called out on here. Yo,
you know my favorite word is you mess up. I'll wait for you to say.
Yeah, I'm good. Hey, do you watch Cancel Culture podcast?
I have. I've watched several of those episodes. Nick Cannon is.
I feel like Nick Cannon is living his life in front of us. I think he really is going through like a public therapeutic transformation.
Absolutely.
Like he even did a prayer. He even prayed publicly the other day, and I didn't even feel like it was like. I felt like it was real.
Well, I think that he is. He's been. How do I want to say this? So he's very much a mature adult, but I think that because he came into the industry so young, even though he's a grown man, people still saw him kind of as a kid, and because wilding out and stuff, funny, playful joke, But I feel like cancel culture gives you the grown man version of him. That makes sense.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do. I like that he's open and transparent. Like I've seen different episodes, so some I can get with more than others. But I do think that he's, open. He's putting himself out there.
So Nick got like a bunch of kids by a few different women.
Be fruitful and multiply. He's taking it very serious.
Yeah, and they talk, and he has a lot of guests like Dr. Umar, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Have you peeped them?
I have.
What do you think about Cheyenne?
So, what do you mean?
Well, she portrays as a licensed. She's a psychologist. I don't know if she's licensed or not. Actually, she might. She's a psychologist. She's a doctor in psychology. I don't know if she's licensed. I think that's what it is. Yeah. But I don't know. It just seems to me right now we got a lot, and that's part of where I think that you can add tremendous value to conversation is that you are a licensed professional counselor. Yes. With a bunch of other credential letters behind that too, like MNOPQRSTUVWSYZ, all that, right? And so, like, I find it interesting when I think she puts herself in a very vulnerable space because she's publicly given a perspective on relationships, right? As a non-married, non-relationship person. She's not in a marriage, not that you have to be, but she's not in a relationship, right? And she's got a lot of perspectives on that. And the same thing happens with Dr. Umar. So this is like this is popular content right now, and I don't know, man. It's just it's super judgmental too.
So, well, what I say, what I see for those, like, because of course, the whole clickbait thing. So the juiciest, most controversial sound bites are going to be what hits TikTok and Instagram. So what I do is when I see something like that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what? I'll go and look at the episode because again, a lot of times that 1 minute, if you just look at that, you think, oh, she's crazy or he's a narcissist. People love to label, I'm a narcissist, you're a narcissist, you bipolar, you throw these diagnoses around. But if you go and actually watch the whole show, the whole episode, and get the context of why it makes more sense. So people kind of vilify people for saying stuff in a 60-second soundbite, and you don't get the whole picture or the whole background.
You provide therapy to men. Yes. You got men patients. Do you have more men patients or women patients?
I have more women.
Yeah,
but I have men.
Do you the whole conversation around low functioning, high functioning, men, low quality. It's not low quality. What was it? It ain't low quality. What is it?
Low vibrational? What are you saying?
Nah, what is it? Hey, help me with that, Casey. It's a whole thing right now with like high functioning, low functioning men. High value, low value.
The whole what do you bring to the table and all of that stuff.
So when you look at the demographic broadly, broadly speaking of men who seek therapy, or what would you say the percentage of high functioning men are versus high value men? Both. I want both. I want like what's that look like? Because you got men seeking therapy coming to a high functioning, obviously, because they're seeking your counsel, and they could be very much high quality men,
right?
But they're also in vulnerable spaces where their perception or view of their quality could be affected because you know what I'm saying, like.
So, and that's the thing. Again, it's all about perspective. Because if you are a high quality or a high value man or woman, you're trying to work or function at your optimal potential. So with that, if you're putting your ego aside and attending to your needs, then and you need someone to process through your issues or your traumas or what you've gone through, to me that's a plus. That's not seen, so that's not that to me that would be an ego boost. That would be something that would raise your value, not diminish it. I think that in society we get so focused on you got to do it by yourself. I got to do it by, especially when it comes to men. And when you talk about black and brown men, the stigma in our community of therapy or getting help in any way, and getting help in any way. That understanding, like, since COVID, more people are in therapy now than have ever been before, which that's one of the good things that I've seen come out of COVID, because people had to take time to sit with themselves and look at themselves in the mirror, and they couldn't work ridiculous hours, or they couldn't just go party, whatever those things were. They had to kind of sit and look at what was going on with them and then say, okay, I need help with this, so that when the world opens back up, I'm in a better place. So I think that when you're talking about like high value, or that, like, I think that therapy or getting assistance in whatever area of life that you need, that's a good thing. I don't think that's something that would diminish. Yes. I think with anything that, like, if you have someone that has high potential, high value, and then they work on, because even with that, they're still human. Everybody has different issues. So if you're trying to be the best version of yourself so that you can be prepared for like a successful relationship, or to excel at your job, or whatever areas of life are important to you, you want to have that help. You want to be able to have that balance.
Is your views outside of, I don't know, it's kind of hard for you to probably step outside of your role because you're a therapist.
Well, it depends on the question.
Well, is your view on the quality of the man affected when, example, like Nick Cannon has multiple children with multiple women, or like Cam Newton? Because we're seeing these like in the public eye. Does your view on the quality of the man change, or is that a man that could potentially be a man that you would see high value in?
That's like a loaded question, because like I don't see the quality of Cam or Nick. Like, that's the decision that they made. Like, they have the money, they have the opportunity to do it, they have willing women to do it. So
you're not judging.
I'm not. Yeah, that's not.
You're not judging?
No, I'm not.
It's okay.
It's not for me to decide if that's okay.
Why isn't it? Though? I'm coming from the perspective of, I'm just saying, like
from my standpoint.
I'm not saying as a therapist.
No, I'm not. And so honestly, for me,
a man can go out here and have various children by various women, and because he has the means to do so,
listen,
it's okay.
No, so.
That's what I'm at.
So what I'm not saying that it's okay or not okay. What I'm saying is, my concern when stuff like that happens is the time and attention that the kids get.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's that's always going to be my focus.
So the baby mamas are okay if they getting the time and the money. Or maybe not even the time. Maybe the money.
And again, that's what I'm saying. Each person, each child's mom knows they have this many children, this many other kids with other women, and they make that decision. Again, so whatever agreement they came to is between them. When I look at that, I'm not judging. Oh, Cam has this many kids, Nick has this many kids. I'm just wondering, like, how much time do they actually have to spend with the different children? That's where I see. So I'm not. Again, like it's very different from you saying, what do I think it's okay for them to do it versus are you saying, would I date someone like that? Like I would if I knew someone.
Would you date someone like that?
No, I wouldn't. Because again, I'm thinking about the time and attention that you get for the kids and for me. Like there's no, like I don't know how you have time for anybody.
They say Nick's a phenomenal father, but I mean,
which is awesome, which is amazing.
This is what they say, and I'm sure he is within the time that he's able to give all of those kids.
I'm just thinking about I have one. And sometimes I scramble with one.
Yeah.
I know people that have 3 and 4, and it's a lot.
I'm gonna tell you what's missing.
When you get to 10 and 12, I don't know.
I think what's missing in these conversations, when it comes to relationships, in my opinion, I'm gonna say this slowly. What I think that's missing in these conversations when it comes to the value. And the functioning or the quality or whatever the case is as it pertains to each other and how the two people interact and develop their relationship is where is the value of God? I'm sorry, this is me. I'm not trying, like, where's your value of God? Like, where's the high value that you place with God or your spiritual views, your like who you are as a person? Like, I think that's what's missing. Like, at the end of the day, like, if you want to get real, I'm not trying to get super spiritual, but relationships are, in most ways, those type of relationships are intimate at some point or another. Yeah. Like there's no, to me, if you're not acknowledging the role that God, which is love, plays in this intimacy and this relationship, and we're just focusing on functionality and value. We're not valuing the right thing. That's why I can't really rock with saying that. I think that is. I think that's what's missing from all the conversations with the Dr. Umars, the Cheyenne. Like Dr. Umar actually said, I was surprised. I was listening to this the other day. Dr. Umar said that in his ideal situation, he has to have 2 queens. And I thought that was pretty. In my opinion, I thought that was pretty hypocritical of him to say that, and I don't know, he's pan-African, pan-something. I don't really know what his spiritual background or cultural background is, but all I hear on the reverse end is his judgmental views on behalf of how most people are not doing things right. And but his view is for himself is that he needs 2 women to meet his needs. And I just
but then on the flip side, can those 2 women also have another man to meet theirs? And the answer is no. So it's okay. So that's where I have the issue with things like that. If it's what's the saying? If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So if you need 2 to satisfy your needs, then where's my other one?
But if you wanted one, that's what
so that's the thing. So if he's saying that he needs 2 queens to satisfy his needs, is it okay for each of those queens to also have a second king?
I mean, that's where that
and that's a no.
Yeah,
that has been said no. So again, that's not the math. That math doesn't math for me.
Yeah, I got you.
It doesn't.
I got you. Hey, why are we hearing this word demure used so much? It's like the most. It's like the most popular new.
Very
maybe
demure,
it's not new.
Very mindful. It's not. Well, everything starts on TikTok, and it circulates around TikTok for a while, and then it makes its way over to Instagram. So
just make sure definition wise, just for y'all to know, demure is demure and disgust. Hold on a minute. It's trending. Define demure and disgust is. I thought I had a definition. I
guess need your glasses.
Yeah, I can't even see it. But it's there's a resurgence with this word, particularly in fashion and behavior.
So it started off. It was a it was a TikTok of someone talking about like when you go into work and how you carry your stuff. You want to be very demure, very mindful, and it was a funny video, and just they'll take the sound bite from it, and so they've just taken it and run with it. So now everything's
demure now.
Everything is demure and mindful.
Is it demure? I guess that's
demure.
a country way of saying it. Demure.
Demure.
It ain't. I don't know.
I think it's demure. I don't. Now you have me. I don't know because I'm country too. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's demure. I think it's demure.
One of the things that Mia gets, she don't like about me. I'm beginning to recognize that. Like, I had an old man one time tell me, you can't go in the store anymore. A lot of men feel like you can't go in the store and buy clothing in a retail store, sometimes comfortably, because the associates are trying, maybe whether it's a fashion trend or if it's their personal perspective, they may try to dress you. I mean, it may be all things, but men particularly, like some men want to go buy a suit and feel like a as a heterosexual man suit, what I'm saying? And they may feel like the fashion trends are pushing them further away from that.
They're trying to get them to dress the way that what the trend is now versus how they're accustomed
Which,
to.
from a lot of men's perspective, isn't masculine now. I don't fall completely in that category.
Now, Randy, I
don't. I don't fall, because I actually recognize that I feel like a lot of clothes that I like and stores that I like to go to, the things I like are more. I don't know if it's gender fluid. I don't know. It's just not.
They call it unisex.
Yeah, I feel like women's glasses look better.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of women's clothing. I mean, I was gonna say waist up, but actually, period. I like it better than
they
men's
say
clothing.
Unisex or gender fluid, gender neutral.
Neutral. I think neutral.
So I mean, but
I'm annoyed by clothing right now.
I think, but that's the thing. I think that now they're just putting a label on it, but people have been doing that for years.
But if I go home, if I go home wearing something, yeah, right. Mia had some glasses that were. Like leopard-ish, and I liked them. And I was like, dang, I kind of like those glasses. I saw some at Warby Parker. They wasn't leopard, but she called it something else. I forget what she called it. But it's the same. It's like design.
Like a tortoiseshell or
tortoiseshell. She said, well, you could have done tortoiseshell.
Yeah, you can do tortoiseshell.
I didn't know I could do tortoiseshell. I want tortoiseshell, but I didn't know I could do tortoiseshell because I thought if I came home with tortoiseshell, you would have said that's leopard, and you can't do leopard.
Now, leopard
I don't like
is a bit much.
I don't like being restricted here. Yeah, leopard is a little much.
Leopard is a bit much, but you can do tortoiseshell. Tortoiseshell will work.
Now I know that, so I wish I would have got them tortoiseshell glasses I liked.
But I think that what's good now is whereas before.
I sound like a child. Like I can't do it.
Well, that's the thing, because like now everything is more open when you're talking about fashion, so you won't get the side eyes as much now as you would have, say, 10 years ago. Like so again,
I never cared about side eyes. It's her eyes,
right? Well, no, so this is what's funny. That's why I said so I could tell this story, because again, how long we've known each other. Like thinking about how when your suited and booted days, and when you were in your 3-piece suits, and it was just like, you like bigger too, you like but you was the European cut, like it was and I'm like, nobody else's suits were like that, and but your suits were tailored, so you were kind of ahead of the curve of how other people were dressing. And so it took 5-6 years before people's stuff started getting, so people would say, oh, you were Metro and you're this, but no, you were fashion forward. So I can understand why you're saying what you're saying now, because thinking about how you've dressed over the years, it just makes sense.
I'm annoyed with stores.
But now they're just putting a label on it. Back then, it wasn't.
Everything's big now, though. I used to love going to Urban Outfitters. That used to be one of my favorite stores. I hate that store now. That store is like, I never liked Nautica anyway and stuff like. I mean, not so much. I mean, not that there was anything wrong with it, but now you go in that store, everything's huge.
Well, that's because now when you're talking about how the trends are now. everything is going back to 90s fashion, and everything was super big.
I'm not going back.
Well, but that's why you don't like shopping in the store. Well, I don't shop in the stores either, but that's what's happening. Everything is, I have nieces and nephews that are, and I'm like, y'all look like I did in high school. This is crazy. But, everything, with fashion, it just cycles around.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
But I think that the good thing is, again, you don't have to feel constricted or that you have to do a certain thing. Sometimes I'm in heels and makeup, and most times I'm in Jordans and a sweatsuit.
Like I think we may have talked about this. I definitely, for those who listen, like, ask yourself, or look, evaluate. Do you get clothes out of your dresser drawer more, or at your closet?
My dresser drawer.
Me too. Now.
I think it depends on where you are in life, because there was a time that I pulled probably 70% off of my rack.
Yeah.
But it was the kind of work that we did. So now that I'm in a different role, my days are very different. Sometimes I have to, I pulled some of this off of the rack. I mean, whereas most days I'm pulling it out of the drawer.
It's probably I think you hit it. It's a balance of where you at in life, but a lot of it is also society's trend has changed. Like when you used to go out, whatever going out meant, whether it was social or professional, you put your clothes on.
Yeah, you had to put that on. Put it
now,
on. Right.
You ain't gotta do that anymore. It don't matter where you're going. It don't matter if it's professional or social or not. Like you still gotta, like, professional is definitely more of a hybrid business casual. Maybe just casual than it used to be.
Again, that's another byproduct of COVID, because it's like when you started going back in person, it's like if I'm coming in for a meeting, if I'm coming in instead of doing it on Zoom, you're going to see me the way I want to be seen. So that was kind of the shift of business casual is more casual than it is business now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I don't really buy clothes anymore though. That's changed. I used to like.
Heels. For me, heels is
You still buying them?
No, I mean, for me, there was a time that I would wear heels every day to work. Now it's like I have to make game time decisions. I'm like, which one can I put on that that I can get through the day, or if it's some that are too high, then I'm taking sneakers with me that I can change into, because I don't have the patience for it anymore.
Hey, one of the things I'm really hopeful though that happens as a process of this relationship here, not the podcast relationship, is that I was like 35% women engagement. Not good. I mean, it's just what it is based on. So like, I think that's where you're able to like help. You help soften. Right. Some of this stuff up here.
I mean, you have to. I look at my calendar and see. I literally look at my calendar for the week and say, what days do I have to put on real clothes? And I know a lot of women that do that. They're like, you look at your meetings or your appointments and like, dang, I can't wear leggings. I have to put on pants. Like I put on pants today. That's a feat for working moms now.
I mean,
putting on real pants.
What you mean?
Like, these are actual pants with a zipper.
What you mean a zipper?
They're pants. They have a zipper.
Oh, you mean like a zipper in the front? Y'all zipper on the side or the front?
Well, some are in the front, some are on the side.
I'm assuming yours on the side.
This one is
right
on
now.
the side today.
Fancy. I mean, I didn't know. I was like, what'd you do?
In most situations, like, again, because of COVID, we have learned to live and exist in leggings and yoga pants, and so you can have your big girl job in athletic wear, and that's what or in scrubs, or in whereas you used to have to go to work with blazers, and
COVID's definitely influenced it, because a lot of people, I mean, there's so many jobs now, it's virtual. You can pretty much determine if you want to work at home or
even if it's hybrid. If you're doing hybrid, at most you're going in 2 days a week. So I know that's what they say. I get dressed.
My dry cleaning bills definitely changed. By default, my clothes stay at the dry cleaners a lot longer. Like, when you come, she'd be like, you coming? They're due. You can be back on Tuesday. I'm like,
Well, people forget.
It'll be next month.
Right, because you don't think about it until you actually need to wear the shirt again.
I'm just trying to keep that money in my pocket as long as I can. When the basket get full, I'll take it. I'll take it to you. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to catch on. So, I've never in my life used a dating app.
Me either.
Have you ever used a dating app?
I've never had a profile. I don't even know how to work it.
I don't even know what I heard of Tinder.
So I know.
I don't want to. We ain't trying to show age here. We just ain't never done it. By the way.
No, but also, I mean, I know people. I have friends and family that have, either used the apps. I know people have met and married. That's where they met their husband or wife. So I know that it's more than just for hookups. But I don't know how to work any of them.
Casey, you ever used a dating app in your life? Years ago. Was it successful for you?
Define success.
How you define success? All right, we got to cut it right there. We met a lot of people.
He increased his roster.
Hung the jersey.
Right, exactly.
So the reason I want to bring this up though is because I think it aligns a lot with communication. Like with these dating apps, like I guess you kind of can narrow down the type of person that you feel like meets your profile.
So it's kind of like a numbers game, kind of.
So like if you look at relationships and how they originate, right? Like years ago, your relationship may have got established. Like we're in the world now because of the internet and because of the means to travel and move around. Like we're just moving a lot faster and different and more frequently, and that's just times have changed. It used to be, you went to this school, you met who you met,
right,
and y'all was together forever, even if you was, and it's probably unhappy.
Or you met them through someone else, someone hooked up. Well, so I kind of feel like so again, I think that with online dating, it has helped some people and hurt others. So you have people, like I said, that find the love of their life, they get married, have kids, all of that stuff. Then you have other people that get catfished and their hearts broken because they, they get their hopes up for who they think this person is, and it's somebody totally different. So it's definitely a gamble that you take when you're doing it. But honestly, how different is that from if you go to happy hour and you meet somebody and they're telling you everything that you want to hear and they're a monster?
Well,
so
I guess my question is this,
it could be good or bad.
To me, it seems like technology is, you got technology and life, and I feel like they're contradicting each other, because you would think that these apps are helping relationships by identifying based on compatibility, interests, likes, whatever the case is, right? So that when you come together, the chances of high quality communication, high functionality, quality, value should all really be in line. But the rate of divorce, separation is probably getting worse. It's probably, but
you got to think about it. So the algorithm, metrics, whatever it is for the app is only as good as
the people who put information in it.
Right. If your profiles aren't honest.
So that's part of the problem. So is a lot of that happening, Casey? From your 5 years, Carrie, by the way, you're a married man now,
okay.
But I'm talking about, but is there a lot of catfishing? Is that a thing?
From what I heard, it is.
For heterosexual men, yes.
For heterosexual men, there's a lot of it. What do you mean?
Like you run into a lot of people that's not what they,
They don't look like, the women don't look like they supposed to look, or the men ain't looking like. You talking about heterosexual relationships?
Yeah, so it's horrible for heterosexual men. Now I don't think there's a lot of men on there catfishing women, but there's a lot of trans women on there catfishing.
Or women that don't look like what they say they look like.
Why?
I haven't encountered that.
Okay.
I've heard of that though.
It's just a gender trend.
I've heard of that because they only show their neck up.
And so and from the female side, well, yeah, that happens. That happens.
Pretty face,
right?
Funny body,
right? And that can happen. But then for the men, they may be attractive, but then their profile is all fluff,
lying about their income and
or what they
all
do,
that
where
stuff.
they all the things they have, what they blah blah blah.
Same thing we be seeing on social media with Instagram and like you ain't in Fiji.
Right.
You in Florida, the water pretty.
Right.
But you ain't in Fiji.
You
ain't in Fiji.
Exactly. But so that's the thing. It's a snapshot. And so again, could that happen with somebody that you meet at a bar, a happy hour, whatever? Absolutely. Because they're gonna give you their representative self until you get a chance to meet them. I think for me, it's the kind of like what you're saying, like that personal connection, the establishing the intimacy, all of that. It's like for the dating apps, it's kind of like it puts the kind of like the natural progression of building a relationship. It puts it on fast forward, if that makes sense.
That's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's microwave society.
Yeah, so it's just like that instant gratification, like swipe left, click a button, do whatever, and next thing you on a date. So it's like
that's what people want now.
Like courting and things like that. That's out the window. It's just like I'm gonna hook up, or we're gonna hook up. We're gonna hang out.
Yeah.
So it's like, are we going on a date? What does this mean?
I've heard people like Kanye West said it though. When you get a good Kanye West quote, it's a good quote. When you get a good one, and he said before, some things could be explained, but some things need to be experienced. And like the information that you sharing through the app or whatever, you explaining your perspective, your side of it, what you want to put in. But at the end of the day, if the sex ain't good, you know what I'm saying? I mean, or if the experience, or if the date ain't good, or if the time spent ain't good, it's like. But no, I was looking at some stuff on the internet about that, and I kind of found it interesting because I think the whole mindset is that you're going to get to where you want to get faster. This is the thing. I just I have a strong opinion on, and I think I hear this a lot from women.
But I don't know what the opinion is.
A lot of women want to have babies. I don't know. I kind of feel a certain kind of way. I don't know. I just don't agree with. I want to get in this. I want to get with you so we can have a baby. But you don't really have any interest in. It ain't about so much marriage, but again, I think it goes back to God. I still believe that God still should be the focus of the whole thing. It should be. So like they want to have babies, but they don't want to get married. And I feel like, I'm not saying marriage is everything, but I feel like you're basically not even caring about. It's like as much as the child needs a mother, the child needs a father. You don't care about that part. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're not caring about that part. You just give me your sperm. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, and you can go to the sperm bank for that if you just want to have a baby. But it's like there's a lot of relationships or interactions that are happening because I want to have a baby by this age, and it's like a rush for that. Well, I don't know.
So the thing, one is not all women.
I didn't say all women.
Not all women.
I didn't say all. I said a lot. I said all.
So I think what it is we have the concept of the biological clock. We do have a cutoff of when we can have kids for the most part without having to take extra scientific medical measures. Okay, and then you got to think about how the increase of people having PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and things like that, endometriosis. That's why I'm here. I'm here to talk about things like that. But having things like that,
what you said.
It's issues with the side effects of that causes issues with production. With having babies and things like that. So if you have an increased amount of women that experience either one or both of those, and they have this biological clock that's ticking, they're thinking, okay, I need to settle down by this point. Everybody kind of has this plan of their life. So even men do too. It may not be on the same time frame, but typically you say, I want to, graduate from school. I want to get my job. I want to start my business. I want to get the house. I want to, you have this plan of how you want your life to flow. And with women, typically with us, it's going to be a time that we want to have, kid one, kid two, or whatever. Whereas guys, typically is not going to be that rigid because y'all can have kids pretty much your whole life. You cut it off when you're ready to cut it off.
We can't have them.
Well, you can produce them. You can assist in producing them. You're correct. So with that being the case, it is two different time frames. Now, when you're talking about getting with a guy just to have a baby, with that, it does. It depends on the woman. It's very. I think that when you're thinking about when you're talking about the importance of God in a relationship, I totally agree. When you're talking about marriage, You're talking about like the sanctity of marriage and then the reasons for marriage. That stuff has changed over
back
time.
that up real quick. This is and we about to wrap and close here in a second. I was having a conversation. I'm not gonna say who I was having a conversation with. She'd be mad. But you talking about the reasons. Like, I guess, do you see anything about childbirth selfish? Interesting approach, right? Because
what do you mean?
children don't ask to come into this world.
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying? It's really something that is happening because something you want, right?
Right. Yeah,
Which is mad.
they didn't ask to be here.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So when a child comes into this world because mom wanted a child, but didn't and considerate of the fact that maybe child needs a dad active in their life. That when I'm kind of going back to like, it's just, to me it's just kind of shitty. Like, God designed man and woman. You know, there's a reason there's a man and woman both in place of childbirth. So I'm just saying, like, if you go into it with the intentional, that's where I'm coming from. Intentional, nigga, just give me your sperm and be gone. I think that's fucked up.
But that's what I'm saying. So are they? Again, it depends with that. How did they lead with it? Are you telling the man that, hey, I don't want a relationship, I don't want, y'all ain't doing that. This is
y'all not doing that all the time. I'm saying generally.
Again, but it depends on the person, because in my experience, a woman may be able to be maybe more financially stable. She may have like a support system that she knows can help her raise a child and things like that. She may be hopeful that things work out with her and the child's father, but if it doesn't, she knows she's going to be okay. So I think a lot of that. I think it's a lot of that happening. And I know that what you're saying, it does happen too, that it's like, I just want a baby and I'm just gonna make that happen. There are and typically what happens with a woman like that, they may have been in relationships that were not successful, or that they broke up. They may have gotten their heart broken, and now they're to the point like, screw it, like, I really just want to have a baby. I don't want to wait until I get into another stable relationship to have one. But I think that it's more of the women that are hoping that it will work out and things will do well, and then it doesn't turn out like that. I think it's more women that do that, as opposed to, I just want a baby.
What do y'all think? That's what I see. This is a good yield space. I think we'll pick up on that next time. This is a good yield space. It's a lot of intentionality. Hey, Casey, we're gonna have some. I think we might be the editing might be interesting here. We got to pull this together right, because I just want to hit all the stuff that she just, you know what I'm saying, like. Put it all on me. No. I want to strike the chords with the women out there so they can chime in and say their side. Yeah. We speaking very generally. At least I'm speaking very generally here. I think we both are speaking generally. It's a real thing though, and both occur. It is. Both occur. There's just it's just happening too much. We out here mass producing all these babies, all these youngins, and we ain't even got, the means to be able to take care of them. What I see a lot now is, again, because of how quickly relationships escalate, because you're not taking the time to date and really get to know each other. It's getting pregnant within, say, the first 3 months. And so which would usually be seen as the honeymoon phase, when everything is great and everything is wonderful. So now you end up being pregnant before you even really get to know what the red flags are, because you pull that full moon out. You full mooned them. Well, but this is the thing. But this is a mutual decision, because they both decided to do this. Nah, so when the moon come out, he got no other choice. What you mean mutual decision? You knew what was going to happen. It's a cause and effect. No. But when you talking about protection, both sides can protect themselves. So it's a mutual decision. But you got to have the protection for the erection. Right. Nah. Correct. You can't. It ain't no protection for that. The moon came out. It's what it is. It's what it is. Again, I think that's what's happening. I see more often that the babies are coming so quickly that you don't have a chance to get to know each other, and younger and younger or whatever. And so then it's like, by the time you realize, oh, red flag, I don't know if this is gonna work out,
you already in your second trimester.
Yeah.
So now you're trying to see, can I make it work for the kid? So I don't see as often as I just want a baby, just give me your sperm. I see, oops, well, let's see if this is gonna work because things are good now. And
Which really, I mean, there's a part of it that hasn't changed. Like, I think I think a lot of times, and we're closing, but I think a lot of times, like, because with evolution of social media and everything, like we look at things like things are getting worse and things are changing, things are bad. But let me tell you what, a lot of y'all need to go check. A lot of y'all need to go check out y'all grandma, great grandma, and y'all grandpa and great grandpas. I mean, because like
it was a lot of foolishness.
It was a lot. I mean, I remember looking back. Like my grandma had like 8 kids. Like. You know what I'm saying? It's like I never even thought about it until I got older. Like, dang, she had a lot of kids.
My
you know
great grandma had 14. My granddaddy was one of 14.
And a lot of times,
a whole lot of babies.
And a lot of times,
no twins.
Various dads too. I mean, I'm not saying your situation. I mean, in general though. Like a lot of times, like, but when you're a kid, you don't look at it like that because everybody cousins and brothers, and you know, we don't look at it that way. But when you get older, it's like. Oh, I never thought about why your name was different, and I never thought about that.
Or like you said back then, multiple marriages because back then. So that's the difference. Back then,
ain't nothing changed.
Women needed to be married. You not only for the kids and like you said for the relationship, for the bond. Financially, women weren't making the money that they're making now. Yeah. You know, and so now, like, it's one thing to have to take care of yourself, but now you have to take care of 3, 4, 5 kids. Yeah. So no, I need to get if this person left me or this person passed away or whatever, I need somebody else. Yes. So then you get married and then you have another set of kids.
But not no more. Not no more. Hey, they don't need us now, and they will let you know quickly. I don't need you.
That's not true.
No, y'all might need some muscle every now and then, but y'all can pay for that. Y'all might need someone to reach something, but y'all can, you can pay for that. Y'all don't need us. You know what I'm saying? Listen, this is the time. I in all seriousness, this is the time for the black woman, particularly. Like, y'all are shining. Y'all are, thriving. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Y'all are climbing. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And we just trying to keep up.
Well, so the thing is, I don't think from a black woman's standpoint, yes, all of those things are true, but it's not that men are not needed, men are not wanted. I think that it's to a point that we can finally be more selective about who we are with. Than we
you have more. Yeah, you definitely can.
In generations past.
But I'm saying that society though is demasculating the man. Period. Like men are. Listen, you see it in politics too. Like you see it all. You see it in everything. Like men are just not being valued in society. And I mean, look, a lot of it you can say that we've done to ourselves.
Minority men.
Definitely that, but you can, I mean, I'm not saying that a lot of it has not been self-inflicted. I'm not saying that it hasn't. I'm just saying that, children today are being born with less testosterone. Boys are being born with less testosterone than ever. Why is that? Well, I'm not going to say why. You got to look at all the factors. You got a lot of women raising boys by themselves. So you got a lot of boys growing up with, just more feminine behaviors, and it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing. Somebody got to raise these kids, but it gets back to the point of we don't have the family unit has been broken, and when the family unit's broken, and the males push is further away, whether it's self or outside. Right. This creates this society where it's like, look, you wasn't there when I needed you. I don't need you now. Right. And
well, I mean, I think that's where the importance of having, the village, so it was, it takes a village to raise a child is very true. And I think that over these last decades, it's kind of gotten away from that. And I think that it's more important now than ever. With the amount of divorces and separations and things like that you have to be able to tap into your village. So mean, and the importance of co-parenting. Just because we didn't work out don't mean that you don't need to be there for your kid. Number one. Number two, tap into the other strong male female
yeah.
presences in their life, so that if you have a girl, you know that they have aunties and cousins and and mentors, and the same thing for the boys, that they have uncles and and cousins, grandfathers and stuff like that, so that they know that they have a team of people that are behind them.
We have lived experience with this,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it comes actually through lived experience. So I'm with you on that village piece. But for those listeners, particularly y'all young ones, you still can't build a village if you can't build a house.
Oh, absolutely.
So regardless of what's in that house, it don't matter. It don't matter what's in the house, quite frankly. I mean, it does and it don't. It's like house can be collected. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things I feel like that's missing from our culture as black people that used to be more common, and you see it more in like Spanish homes, is grandma and them at some point came over. They came at some point. We started taking care of each other, and I think that is. I be trying to get my mama to come. That is just as beneficial for the child. And for everybody. So
it's better for the elders too, because it keeps them mobile and keeps them moving and gives them a sense of purpose. So wasn't
this a very wholesome therapeutic conversation? You know what I'm saying? Listen, we appreciate you guys for staying engaged, because we can do this all day and we have to stop ourselves because we have to get back to work. But we appreciate you guys staying engaged and tuned in. You remember, you can find this podcast everywhere podcasts are played. You can go to randywilsonpodcast.com. You can listen and see us on YouTube, which is where I encourage you to go, because that's going to help you know who's talking. A lot of people just listen. They don't know who you are, what you sound like. You gotta go see us. You can go and like we just meet you where you are. But appreciate it. It was good. This was straight off the top of the head, freestyle. Yes. We'll get better and prepare and do what we gotta do. Another Verified production, and we out.